He's also. So YArnc now with a reinforcing group of Mulisks continue to harass, and this is what I like to see. The Zerg players so far, I mean Zerg players recently, other than G10, have just been leaving this stage of play pretty early, because in general they just think the Terran player will be so well prepared against a Mulisk harass with turrets and whatnot, but sometimes staying at this level is very effective, and now the Zerglings are in the natural expansion. Firebat Hero is trying to get up a science facility, probably is done now, but YArnc critically delayed the science facility from going up. For that science vessel and irradiate will be that much slower. Of course, that is a great weakness of all Mulisk army against the Terran player. Of course, is once they get that science vessel out, it's really GG for those Mutalisks at least. And we so far still have not seen a tech switch yet. And interesting enough, what is that at the lower right, at the 6 o'clock position? I'm not sure what that is. If Firebat Hero is building some proxy building there, or expansion or something, it looks like the natural expansion under severe attack now, and Firebat Hero forced to withdraw with his SCVs. This is looking terrible for Firebat Hero. It's going to be a race about whether he can get that get that science vessel out. And sorry, that was actually an expansion for YArnc. I couldn't really tell on the minimap. And YArnc only now getting his Hydra Den, trying to get those lurkers, and I guess he's realized that the science vessel is going to come out pretty soon, and he's going to not be that effective with his Mulisk. Looks like he's going to try to do as much damage as possible before the irradiate comes out. He might even be able to pick off all these Marines, in which case, basically, he will win this game, I think. And really, I think he's far, far ahead right now. He might be able to pick off the Science Vessel. Firebat Hero's Science Vessel goes down. So it looks like Firebat Hero will actually lose here to YArnc. I'm calling it a little bit early, but Firebat Hero is in huge, huge trouble right now. And even though he can beat Savior so well, it looks like YArnc has got his number here, going for the mass Mulisks in the mid game, sort of pulling a G10 there. Not going for the economy build, not going for the expansion after getting the Mulisk up, but instead going all out harass. And he certainly built more Zerglings than most modern Zergs do. Look at Firebat Hero, forced to build his ComSat station on that command center inside his base. I think he suspects that lurkers will be coming pretty soon. And really, at this point, Firebat Hero's pinned in his main base. Still, those Mulisks are causing havoc. Still, no science vessels out. And really, I think this is going to be GG for Firebat Hero. I think he can GG at this point, but I guess he's going to fight on. The winner of this match, of course, will be able to leave this group and move on to the round of 32, whereas the loser will have to fight one more time in the final matchup. Firebat Hero will have to fight the winner of MBS and Koala Bear, or Koala. So really, I still think Firebat Hero, to be honest, is still a favorite for leaving this group, but I think this game he could basically write off right now. What we don't need to see from Firebat Hero, of course, is one of his emotional implosions. You know, he doesn't need to get humiliated here. Like YArnc could go and get some queens. Oh, irradiate going off. Finally, the irradiate comes, but YArnc managing to keep most of his mules still alive. Good pull there. And the lurkers will be coming very soon, of course. Here's Firebat Hero's push. I think this will be the only thing he can do right now, and could hopefully do enough damage to stay in this game, but I highly doubt it at this point. YArnc trying to snipe off that missile turret. Looks like he barely will be able to. Still has that Scourge hanging around his Mulisk. I think that's actually a smart trick there. Maybe he'll be able to have an attempt at these science vessels. 2 vessels up now for Firebat Hero, but here comes the lurkers, and it's going to be very, very difficult for him to hold this off with just 2 vessels. Especially because I think more lurkers are coming. But anyway, I'd have to say, though, that really Firebat Hero should be any match for either MBS or Koala, but I really, you know, maybe YArnc will humiliate him. If Firebat Hero doesn't GG, maybe YArnc will build some queens and infest his command centers and kill him with infested Terrans, and then maybe Firebat Hero will just start crying and he'll lose. But really, I hope that he's certainly more trained than that. I think that part of his emotional displays are more of a show than anything, but you know, so I think he's able to control himself. I still think he'll leave this group, even though he most certainly will lose this match, I think. Firebat Hero with +1 attack finally for his Marines. Evolution Chamber has been up for a while for YArnc, though, so I think he'll be okay here. He does have that Medic Marine group out. He could get very lucky, but even now I'd say it's less than 5% chance of him winning after having lost the natural expansion for so long. And taking so much damage to his economy. We're going to see this combined force attack here from YArnc, very interesting enough. And this is another thing I was going to note. YArnc built a lot of speedlings in this game early on. on. This is something we usually don't see with modern Zergs, and YArnc is designed to resurrect the Muta-Ling build against Terran. He's shown it to be very, very powerful. In fact, I'd say it's not really like a G10, because G10 just goes for Mutalisks and tons of Mutalisks. He doesn't really go for a lot of Speedlings. YArnc has added his own little touch to it, going for the Mutalisk Zergling combination against the Medic Marines here. Very, very sort of old school build. I like it though. Leads to faster games and more action, I think, and really prevents the Terran from holding their natural expansion so easily. Too many times the Zerg player, I think, cedes that natural expansion. Basically, they just start off assuming the Terran will pick up that expansion and keep it the entire game until the game's really reached its decision point, and it looks like YArnc was unwilling to let that happen. Here comes the attack now. 2 Irradiates going off. I don't think this is going to be enough, though. Lurkers getting in from all sides, and oh, the slaughter. Firebat Hero losing a lot of units, and I think that's going to be GG. He's lost half his army already with those lurkers. A couple lurkers popping there from the Irradiates, but I think the remaining force is big enough to wipe out what's remaining of Firebat Hero's army. Firebat Hero with just a couple Marines in his main base, trying to pick up the second expansion there, but I don't think YArnc's going to let that happen. We'll see if YArnc continues this Mutalisk production. I don't think he will, actually. I think he'll probably switch it to Filers pretty soon now and finish the game once Dark Swarm comes out. I just don't think Firebat Hero has the number of science vessels to deal with a late-game Zerg, especially off of 3 gas for so long. And now we're seeing another Muta-Ling attack. In fact, YArnc, against my expectations, has built a lot more Zerglings, even a couple more Mutalisks, and now bringing Lurkers from behind. Oh, this is going to be brutal to watch. Very, very nice here. Just like I said, the Battle of Aiza and Wanda again. And the Zerg forces getting all among the Terrans. Oh, and Firebat Hero losing his force. I think this is going to be GG very soon for him. There's really no way for him to come back for this. He's going to lose his attempt at expanding here, and with it, I think the last chance of him winning. Oh, more Lurkers coming from behind. Very nice play by YArnc, I have to say, this entire game. Playing solid Zerg, sort of solid, innovative Zerg here in this game. And playing very well, managing to defeat a very strong and a really up-and-coming Terran player in Firebat Hero, despite what we say about him and his surprising weakness against the Protoss. He is very strong against both Terran and Zerg, and it's impressive that YArnc has managed to beat him in this game. So really, at this point, I think Firebat Hero can GG. Hopefully, he doesn't stay in here for another 10 minutes and allow himself to be humiliated, as has been done to him very often recently. He seems to have picked that up from Savior, actually, the habit of not GGing until you're humiliated, which Savior, of course, did against Firebat Hero for a while in several of their games. And Firebat Hero is still continuing to fight on. Really, I think it's unnecessary. He still has a game to play, even if he loses this game, and he needs his, of course, save up his energy, save up his mana for that game. Oh, SCV Slaughter once again. Is he going to wait until the command center gets infested? That is the question. And if he does, what will happen to his psyche for the final game? I don't know. Yeah, YArnc has the map right now, and I'm just going to wait for the queens to come out, really. I think that'll be it. I think YArnc can go all Broodling right now and win. And I think that was GG getting typed in. I heard the sounds. Yeah, GG when the first swarm's out. So YArnc taking the game comfortably, I think, right after the mid-game. Playing very well with his Zerglings and Mutalisks. Sort of not what we would see every day in a Zerg player nowadays, but definitely impressive. And we're watching next a fight between 2 rather incompetent players from what we've seen so far. Hopefully it'll be interesting, though. It will be Koala Bear versus MBS. Thanks for watching, guys.